Transmitting to you from Old Heart Radio.
Prepare to have your bones chilled and your hairs raised. It's the WacArnold's Brothers podcast.
Welcome home.
Oh my god. Oh my god. You know, I just want to go out on a limb here and say that this is a WacArnold's Brothers podcast.
Indeed.
This is number 20, motherfuckers.
I never, yeah.
2-0, man.
It doesn't feel real. I mean, it's only 20. It's not like it's like 200, but still.
Still though, man, they stack up before you know it, and then you're just like, holy cow. Like,
yeah.
You know, like it's been really, like, for myself, this has been a really, really fun, just like kind of like a good excuse to dive back into like horror just in general, you know, like you never lose the flavor of it, but like sometimes you forget to have like how much fun you can have with some of these horror movies, you know. And so yeah, I've been really enjoying this, but we have a special like episode this, you know, because on the last episode we said we talked about how we started off with, you know, episode number 1, The Dentist, and how perfectly fitting it would be to come back here and revisit the Dentist universe with The Dentist 2.
Yeah.
OMG.
Because this is your first time watching it, right?
It was, yeah. And it's so fitting that I watched it like right after having a tooth extraction, like or come back in the process of recovering from that, and I'm just like watching this movie being like, this is my fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
But one of the things, like I just wanted to throw this out there. I have like really bad dental anxiety. Like I like really have like a phobia of going to the dentist, which is something that's kept me away from it for so long. And so it was sort of funny.
I don't think anyone like particularly likes the dentist. But.
Yeah. Well, and Lawrence Kane has an issue with that, as we find out in this movie. But but my thing is, like, well, watching this, I was sort of like, yes, I'm gonna overcome this fear by watching The Dentist 2.
Yeah, not gonna help.
Not gonna help, but kind of, sort of, in a weird way. But The Dentist 2, brace yourself. And that's not our title. That's the title of the movie. But,
well, yeah, it's like yeah. And sometimes it's called that, but I actually just learned that last night because I've seen it multiple times, and never once seen that title. But then when like you read about it on Wikipedia, that's what it says. It's like sometimes also titled The Dentist 2, brace yourself.
The off and on title. Like, yeah, sure. Like a critic said it once, and they're like, "Yeah, we could use that."
But yeah, it opens like where we last saw, you know, Dr. Feinstone. He's because obviously at the end of the first movie, he's in a nut house because it does one of those like introductions again where he's in this like pristine. You know,
this like beautiful all white like dentist laboratory or dentist like, you know, room, and it's like he's operating on Brooke again or whatever.
Yeah, Which for some, you know, for somebody who's, if you've watched the first one, you immediately are kind of like, this can't be it. This can't be right. That's not reality. But right.
Yeah, it's like it is sort of funny, like the sort of parallel with the like opening, you know, how it's like you said, it's kind of, you know, like I don't know, it opens with like some light dentistry work, but then he just like immediately gums her.
Yeah, it has like one of those gross shots of like the needle going into the. Oh wait, no, that's later, but it's just
like
him
the little hook thing or whatever,
blasting away at her teeth.
Oh god, it's so harsh. And like there's like this moment where like she's like bleeding from her mouth and she like smiles at him or whatever. She's like, and like a bunch of blood's coming out of her mouth.
You're kind of like, what's going on here? Then you quickly learn that it's like him talking to his psychiatrist, explaining that he didn't do it, and he doesn't know who the man that did it was.
Like,
and that Dr. Finestone is gone, consumed by the rage that spawned him.
Oh my god, consumed by the rage. Yeah, that was like one of the weirdest, like, just as a character thing. I was like, is he really trying to get out of this by just saying like it was a different persona, it was a different person, it wasn't me.
Yeah, he is.
He really is. And
yeah,
it's great that this movie picks up basically, like you said, where the last one left off. So he's kind of talking to a psychiatrist. Yeah,
I want to know when did he get the chance to like sew this little like metal pick into his leg.
Yeah, but that was the wild card in this scene, dude. He was like, he's sitting there talking, the psychiatrist is talking to him, and he's like, no, he's talking about being consumed by rage and all that shit, and then like out of nowhere he starts picking at his leg at like this like freshly stitched like wound, and he just pulls out like a little shiv or something. And it was just like,
that looked so painful, but like he just like nonchalantly just like he's like talking the whole time and doesn't even stop like it's basically like it doesn't even hurt him that he's doing this, he's just, I don't know, it was weird,
which actually kind of plays into like stuff that you see with him later, I guess, thinking about it. But yeah, it was such a weirdly grotesque scene, again, sort of right off the bat. But yeah, then he presumably kind of kidnaps and escapes the prison with his psychiatrist.
The mental facility,
which was just like, so wild on top of itself. Like I thought it was going to take a little longer to like get to like
no shit
moment, but
it's instantly him like driving in a red car, and you hear this radio broadcast like Dr. Finestone escaped and has a kidnap victim with him, and then he just changes the radio to classical music.
Yeah, it's like blasting over the news. It's just so casual seeming that he's just like out and about now. But yeah, then you learn that he's kind of he's taking the psychiatrist and he's like taking her money, and then it kind of drifts to this scene where I didn't know that like that this character was going to necessarily be involved, but I was kind of surprised. But Brooke, Brooke, it seems like, has hired from the first movie after being fucking mangled.
Mutilated.
God, dude.
I didn't think she was going to be in it either.
No, but then you find that like she's basically hired a private investigator to kind of locate Finestone.
She has like a box of snow globes.
Yeah, and like I guess I didn't like I picked up on it later, but the snow globes are representative of like places that he had traveled or something when he was younger, and so that's why the private eye is gonna like use these as like places to visit to see if he's there.
Yeah, those and postcards.
I thought it was so wild. Those like snow globes, like where did they pull that from?
Yeah, it was kind of random, and we also learn here that like it doesn't have any bearing over the movie at all. We learn that the hostage was found in Flagstaff, and that he could be anywhere. And then, sure as shit, it shows him like pull up in this small town, presumably called Paradise, Missouri.
Yeah, I love that.
It's this tiny little town, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I just he can be anywhere. Yeah, he pulls up and he has like plaid shirt tucked in. He's got some like fresh looking work boots on. And he's like, there's literally a scene where he like it shows like a couple of other citizens walking by each other, And one of them also has like a plaid shirt tucked into his jeans. And Finestone like looks down, kind of puts a baseball hat on like the other guy had, and sort of like gives himself the approval, like I fit in. And so yeah, but apparently to some degree he has like some connection here or something as Larry Kane.
yeah, he has like a safe okay, this is what I gathered, is that he has this safety deposit box there, and this is all the money that he was skimming from the IRS from the first.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because that was like in the first movie, there was that sleazy IRS character that came in, and he gets killed. But that's so yeah, he goes to this town and he has this other identity as Lawrence Kane, and he comes to get his money, and he also explains he doesn't have the safety deposit key. Then they give him his safety deposit box anyway.
Yeah. They're just like, well, sure, we can break into it for you. But yeah, that's it. He's like all about like, I just want to, live in a small town life.
That's
like,
right. That's right. He does say a line about moral decay there.
Oh God, dude.
Yeah. He wants to live in the small city, and then he's talking to this character here named Wilkes, who like runs the bank or whatever.
Yeah.
And he quickly introduces him to his niece Jamie, who's like renting out this cottage.
Yeah, which is like a perfect fit for what Larry's looking for, or Lawrence, excuse me.
Yeah, and we also briefly meet the character Beverly, who instantly is like nosy and kind of,
From the moment you meet Beverly, I was like, they're gonna have an interaction at some point.
Yeah.
She's
those annoying characters always get killed off. But anyway, but yeah, so she takes him to the cottage, and I love how he just looks at the outside, and before even going inside, he's like, "I'll take it."
Yeah. He has no way of knowing what's in, like, what the condition is, anything.
Right.
Sight unseen. And then it kind of goes into like this like weird, he's like sort of sleep sequence. He's having like a night terror or something.
Yeah.
Where it's like, and this is when like, they start playing a little bit on that, like, he has this pull going on where it's like he doesn't want to hurt people or harm people or something.
Yeah.
And so it's like this inner Finestone or something.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's trying to be Lawrence Kane, but he's like having these psychotic breaks where he's really Finestone, but he doesn't want to be or something.
Yeah, and during all this sequence is the first time you see him do some like self-infliction, which is like some self-harm, which is interesting. I was like, I wasn't expecting like that,
yeah,
but he uses it as like a way of maybe like curbing his urge or something.
Yeah, it's like therapy, like self-mutilation is therapy, because you can see on his arm there's like multiple scars from having cut himself with a razor, which is always gnarly.
Yeah. And then that kind of leads to like this interaction with him and Jamie. Yeah. Because she kind of like hears a commotion or whatever.
Yeah, because he wakes up screaming and like knocks out. But yeah, she comes over to investigate the strange noise.
And so, like at first you think maybe he's gonna like, this might be like his first victim, because he's kind of walking up behind her with his razor in his hand and all this stuff. And I mean, luckily, she makes it out of this scene alive. But you find out that she also does pottery in her spare time. A little character building here.
Yeah, because she explains that she made the lamp. It's no big deal. She can make a new one. But then, like randomly, he's like, she's like, "Can you do windows or something like that?" He's like, "Yeah, I can do windows."
Yeah.
Which didn't happen in the movie at all. Like, it was just the most random line, because there was nothing. He didn't do any windows or anything. So it was like, what was the need for that?
Yeah. And then Lawrence Kane takes the opportunity, like in the dead of night after waking her up with one of his night terrors, to then ask her out to the Paradise Cafe.
Yeah, he's like, what's that cafe in town? And then they're just
the only
there.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's like talking about how like she used to live in Seattle and all this stuff. And
yeah. Because they kind of explain their backstories here, where she moved back to the small town because she didn't like her job, and now she wants to try out her dream or something like that.
Yeah, making a go of actually, instead of just talking about art, making art.
Yes, and he's and
and he has a great interaction with the waitress.
Yeah, the waitress with the fucked up teeth.
She comes up and the waitress drops off her food. She makes it's like chicken fried steak for Larry and like a salad for Jamie, and she makes some sort of comment about how Jamie keeps her looks because it must be because of all the salad or whatever.
Yeah.
And then just like this like moment of like Lawrence like focusing on his gnarly teeth, and he's just like, oh, you know, like this is gnarly. It's like the camera's like going in and out from his face a little bit. It's just like so ridiculous.
Right.
But you can tell, you know, he's just like, you know, he has that like tick, the actor, just like he really pulls off these like moments of crazy looks, like just like
he does
so quickly, and he snaps right from them too, and it just works so fucking well. It's like so entertaining. I forgot to mention really quick that if you notice in the credits, he's an executive producer on this one for some reason. He's got to step up. Not only is he the lead, he's the executive producer.
Right, but yeah, like you said, he is really good at like at doing this like snapping back and forth between like normal him and his psychotic breaks, essentially.
Yeah, it's just kind of, I don't know, it's just interesting. It's like it's like one of the I think like we've mentioned this with the first movie, but he is just like one of the things about this movie that just like immediately like suck you in, like him as like his portrayal of this character, you know.
Right.
But then this leads to, I believe, Lawrence Kane breaks a cap while eating his chicken fried steak, and then that's when he goes to the local dentistry office.
Yeah.
Which, like, immediately as soon as you see him walking in that setting, and you're just like, you know, he's gonna lose his shit. Like this is not his dentist office, you know. And that's the thing about this whole movie too. Another like random thing is like because of the history of the character, you just know, and like the breaks he's had so far in the movie, you just know this is all building up to something. Like he's you know what I mean. And so it's like every scene, it's like, is this going to be the scene that pushes him over the edge? And this was one of those moments where you're just, it's like,
a good point.
Is this going to be the scene where he starts fucking snapping? I don't know.
Because like he goes in and he has like an interaction with the receptionist who the only thing I know, her name is Wendy Roby, and she was in Twin Peaks. She plays like the really weird character in Twin Peaks that eventually gets like a concussion and thinks she's in high school again.
Yeah. She loses. She has one eye.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god,
yes.
Dude, that totally is her. Wow, good call, dude. That's funny. But yeah, he had a few interactions with her, and her character gets kind of just sort of kicked around a bit, if you ask me. But
yes, true.
But yeah, there's this like, so she brings like Kane into the
operating room, whatever you want to call it. Yeah,
the dentist room, whatever it is. And he like, you know, she sits him down in like this very dated looking dentistry office,
of course,
where you know, like the tools and the chair even all look like they're from the 70s or something like that, you know,
because he's used to, you know, expensive modern, you know.
And so, you know, he's sitting there. It's like funny because he's sitting there for a little while, and then he like starts looking around, and he's basically, it's like, it's too much for him to be in the office. So he goes and puts on.
I love it because he had the coat part is hilarious because he's like walking towards it, he touches it, and there's like a monologue in his head like, You know, like he's like trying to fight the urge to put this coat on, you know what I mean? Because he's not a dentist anymore.
Yeah, and then he starts like sort of like bugging out and like looking at like all the equipment and like just walking around the office. And then he takes it a step further and like wanders down the hallway dressed as the dentist. And like, you know, there's this like great moment where it's like some random like older lady is like in another room with her mouth like pried open, and
yeah,
and it's kind of like a nasty shot, like you know, and like he just Feinstein just like walks up and just like he's like hands her up and he just starts moving towards her face with his hand with her hands, and she's just sitting there going like, you know, in her face like what the fuck, you know, his head, and like, and then the actual dentist you know, interrupts and
he's like, what are you doing? Yeah.
And then he like takes out a piece of gauze and it's like it was a respiratory whatever issue.
That
and
part's
like,
hilarious where they're like arguing in the hallway afterwards, and Burns is questioning him, and Feinstein's like, that woman was in respiratory distress.
Yeah. Like, yeah, he was doing due diligence there, right? He was just like, this guy. Yeah, respiratory distress. And that's when he actually takes the dentist. I would have not trusted this dentist after that moment. Like, but he goes back to like his room with the dentist, and still has him like, you know, put the cap on, but he's giving him a bunch of shit. Like he's like, make sure you wash your hands or at least put gloves on. Yeah,
I'd re-sterilize all your equipment.
Yeah, re-sterilize all your equipment and stuff. And I was like, dude.
That leads Burns to kind of like be like, you know, this isn't some fancy operation, but it, you know,
yeah,
the town likes it and all this. Yeah,
and he's like he makes a comment like, you know, you came to me, and Kane's like, you're the only game in town.
That's right.
It's so ridiculous. But yeah, then he's getting his cap put back on, and like the scene immediately following this is basically like the cap comes out of his mouth.
Yeah, like really quickly. He's like driving away. He's stopped at like a four-way intersection, and he's just like toying with his tooth, and it pops out.
Yeah, and then he's just like, you know, he has his like freak out.
Yeah, he has his first like real freak out of the movie, and he like almost backs into a car and this is a character that comes into the movie later, but I love it where the guy that he almost backs into says something like, "You bastard," and Feinstein's like, "Cretin."
Yeah, he drives away and calls him a fucking cretin.
Cretin, yeah.
Cretin. God, dude.
But this is where, you know how you were talking about like where you're just waiting for him to snap, like you can clearly tell like,
yeah,
this is going to be it.
Yeah, like this is the moment, man. This has pushed him over the edge. And he goes back to the dentistry office.
And he's like looking around for Burns, and he eventually starts going up the stairs. He picks up a golf club for some reason, which is like funny because there's a little line earlier in the movie where Wilkes is like, "Oh, I love to golf," and Feinstein says something like, "I despise golf," or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But I love how when he stumbles upon Burns is just like sitting in bed eating a fucking sandwich.
He's just chilling out, man. He doesn't have anything to do. He's just trying to mind his own. This fucking Sammy. But yeah, then this dude, then Kane just comes in and just starts like antagonizing him. He's like poking at him with the golf club he picked up and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, well, what does he say? He says, drill 'em, fill 'em, bill 'em. That's your philosophy, isn't it? This is where you're like, this is, you know, his idea of dentistry is something completely different than what's happening.
Yeah. I forget what he says, but he like goes off on one of his monologues about dentistry, you know.
Yeah, and you see, a trip to the dentistry should be pleasant, something to look forward to, you know.
He eventually gets to the point where Burns is like backed up by the top of the stairs, and you know, Kane, sorry, hasn't really attacked him yet, but Kane is like, repeat after me. I am an incompetent dentist. And Burns like starts to say it, but can't necessarily say the word incompetent correctly. And then he's like, I'm a boogeyman. And it makes Burn. I like how Burns just like stumbles backwards down the stairs, and that's enough to kill him.
Yeah, that was like that was like the shocking part about this first death scene was like it literally was just like him falling down, like rolling down the stairs, and then like it cuts to, you know, like shows his head, and it's like he's got a gash on his forehead or something from the fall. But it was really like, I mean, like Kane didn't really like kill, like I don't know, he was antagonized. I don't think he really like did a lot to kill him in this scene, you know? Not
necessarily, no.
Yeah. But I mean, that can't be.
And then he fixes his own tooth.
Yeah. In classic fashion, he's the only person that's good enough for that job, you know.
Right.
But yeah, like that close up, he's that mirror shot of him just being like and jamming his cap back on and stuff.
Right.
Gnarly. And then he's like checking himself out in the mirror, like, dude, he's like,
let me get
nuts.
Like. He is great in this role, and then we get a quick like another scene of the private eye talking to Brooke, and he's explaining that he's investigating places from the snow globes, and he hasn't had any luck yet. It's just a quick like 1 minute little diversion.
Yeah, he says, "Love and kisses from your favorite private eye."
It's weird.
It's weird. He's a really interesting little side character, though.
Yeah,
just like,
for sure.
Just like this, like short, squat, mustachioed man who's just sort of like, he's got like a weird voice. He's just like, I don't know, classic private eye character, if you ask me.
Yeah, true. And then we have now we see Wilkes and Finestone are having lunch, and Wilk explains, that we lost their dentist and he wants Finestone to be the new dentist. And Finestone has a part here where he almost like stumbles over his own story, where he's like, I didn't move from Washington in a nice, lavish office to come be a dentist here,
Yeah, exactly. He does, dude. He almost gives up. He almost gives himself up a little bit. And that happens, like, people get so close, I feel like, and before it finally breaks. Like, there's so many moments where you're just like, oh, do they know? Because that's the other thing. It's like, how does he, like, this place has to be backwoods enough that for some reason they have not heard or seen a photo of him.
Like, no shit, right?
You know what I mean? I kept thinking about that this entire movie. I was like, but yeah, so he's basically just like trying to convince him to take the practice because he's clearly the only person in town that's qualified.
Yes.
And yeah, it seems like it's hard pressed, particularly, because I think as a character, like, Kane is he's trying to not be Finestone. Like at this point, like he's not trying to snap. He's not looking to fucking like hurt somebody. He's trying to avoid that.
Right.
So it's an interesting dynamic to the character in this movie. But then you get this like sequence where he kind of goes back to the dentistry office and has a hallucination in the car. Yeah. And a really intense one, if you ask me.
I completely agree.
It's like, he's hallucinating that he sees Brooke is in the dentistry office, and she has these like. Yeah, it's like the razor blades or something. Like
and then she has it's like the razor blade like teeth, and then she has this this part's weird where like she has this really long fucking tongue. Yeah, and then there's like some weird zombie guy next to her, like Fiendstone, Bindstone.
Yeah, it's like it's weird because it doesn't seem like it's necessarily him as a zombie. I don't know who the zombie is. It's just like a zombie dentist who's gonna cut Brooke's super long tongue off or something.
Yeah, it was really weird and unnecessary.
But the visuals of that, especially Brooke's like razor blade teeth mouth, was just fucking
disturbing.
Gnarly.
Yeah. They do a good job with that, like making everything look
harsh.
Really,
yeah, man.
Exactly.
And then, you know, so you're kind of seeing this pull with the character of Lawrence Kane at the moment. And then he kind of goes back to his house or to Jamie's house where he's, you know, renting the cottage or whatever, and discovers that, oh, she's home for the day because she has a toothache, which I was like, it's like, what a great fucking job, dude.
Yeah, she makes a line about how she has an appointment in the next couple of days. So it's like, and I like how, so this part's funny to me because she mentions having this appointment in this town, and Finestone like instantly is like, well, that place is 70 miles away. Like, how would he know that?
Yeah, exactly. He's just like, he knows exactly on the dot. 70 miles away though, huh? Like, and
so
that's that's it. Like, so this is like, I think, a strange moment because he tries to convince himself. Well, it's like he almost doesn't want to like help her, but he does want to help her. You know what I mean? Of
course, because he's instantly like, well, let's go take a look at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but even like during the whole, but you know, and then it's like her in the dentist chair, and he's about to examine her and stuff, and there's just all this tension because you're just like, dude, like I hope he doesn't fuck up her mouth. And,
right.
But he's actually like actively like trying to avoid that too at this point. So it's kind of this weird tension where you're just like, is it going to just happen?
Yeah, because at one point he has one of his visions where there's like cockroaches crawling around in her mouth.
Yeah.
And then he ends up going and cutting himself like during this whole scene to kind of like and this is the part where he cuts himself and he's like, I'm not crazy. I'm not going to hurt her. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you said, it really is tension filled. It's like, is he going to snap here?
Yeah. But this is also the scene you have the first of a couple of different times where he's like injecting like the numbing agent in the gums, and it just shows like this needle going in. And you're just like, oh.
Those shots will never not be unsettling. They're just like,
so yeah. Just makes your stomach do weird things. I don't know,
man. It makes me queasy. But yeah, so he has the little break, but then he goes back. And we quickly learned that the procedure went well, and he has a hilarious line here where it shows him walk outside of like the front of the dentistry office, and he's like, I did it. I'm a dentist. I'm the best damn dentist there ever was.
It's like right when you're feeling like you can maybe get behind this guy just an iota, they give him a line like that where you're just like, oh, this fucking guy.
Right, like he just filled a cavity and he has this monologue where he just acted like he did. You know what I mean? It's just fucking hilarious.
Damn dentist there ever was. Yeah, it's so so ridiculous.
And then it just cuts to them like a ceremony of him in his new shop. He's got a new sign. There's like a ribbon cutting thing, and
yeah, he decided to take over the practice, man.
Yeah.
And then he has this weird moment with the Beverly character.
Yeah.
Where she's just like, Beverly's here. She's just gonna take a photo of Jamie and Wilkes and Kane, and Kane just walks right up to her and like puts his fingers in her mouth, pushes her lips up and like starts looking at one of her teeth and like, I can fix that for you. It's just like so inappropriate. You're just like,
right. I will say the character of Beth is just, for some reason, like I've said this before about like characters in movies where the person who plays them, they have these facial expressions where it just pisses me off for some reason. And Beth is one of those. Like, I can't stand the character of Beth. Like,
no, I mean, she definitely
or Bev. I can't stand the fucking character of Bev.
You knew that she's one of those characters you're just like, you're gonna meet some sort of like demise, and I'm not gonna feel too bad about it. Right.
Cause yeah, then we quickly see that like he has construction going on. And he's showing Jamie around the renovation. And then we learn that he's creating a perfect operatory upstairs. And we're like, because in the first one, his office was filled with all these different like themed rooms. And he was building like his version of a perfect operating room, which is the one in the end that he mutilates Brooke in. So here you're like, oh, fuck. Like,
yeah, it's going down. It's going.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like, there's also like a sequence during that where like is that where he interacts with Robbie again?
No, that's not yet.
Well, then never mind. Because there's like another scene. It's like the scene right after that. Then it's like I thought it was fun. It was weird because he like it's this really quick scene of like Jamie working on some pottery, and then like he just calls her out of nowhere and just like, you know, like just wanted to say hi. And it's like this really like quick brief scene. And he makes a comment, and this is how you know it's a pre-2000s movie for sure if you don't look at it, because he goes, yeah, I'm organizing. It's going to take me till the millennium.
Because he's like going through like old files. Yeah. But then we hear a knock on the door, and this is one of my favorite parts of the whole movie is something we haven't talked about in quite a few episodes. We have a Clint Howard sighting.
Yes, sir, we do.
Yeah,
man, and it's so great. Like I saw his name in the credits, and I was I was immediately like, oh, when does that happen? And so
it's amazing.
Like him just coming in, he's like, is he just a great Clint Howard character? Like where it's just, you know, he's just like, hey man, can you help me out? Like I just got dropped off by what do you say, like a cabbie jockey or something?
A cab jockey, yeah.
Cab jockey. Like I need this tooth, man. It's just like, you know,
you're a Hall of Famer, Doc.
Yeah, a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, some great lines. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. And then he's like really insistent with Kane as he's like Kane leads him into like the, you know, his dentist room and whatever. He's like really insistent that he recognizes his face. He's like, I remember people's faces. Like, and he has a story about remembering like somebody's face at a Dodgers stadium from like that he had met like 3 years before at an expo or something.
At a shoe expo, yeah. He's like 1980 shoe expo, shoe shot or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? I was right.
Yeah, it's hilarious. And like, yeah, and so Finestone starts like operating him, and he's trying to figure out who he is, and this is where like the first time that Finestone kind of like snaps really bad, because he's going to put in like the anesthetic in his mouth, and he just rams the fucking needle into his mouth.
Yeah, dude.
Ooh.
Well, okay. So first though, there's this like, I mean, like right before that too, like he's like messing around the dude's tooth, and then there's like this sequence where he's like, you know, scraping something, and Clint's like, ow, and then he like digs in, and there's like this weird white pus that like explodes.
It looks like an abscess explodes. Yeah.
Oh, so gross. And then
I forgot about that. Yeah, that part's disgusting.
Dude, there's so much cringe in these scenes. But then like the thing I noted about this numbing agent scene was like the needle on this sucker was like so much bigger, and when he jams it in there, he goes all the way in, man, and you're just like, fuck, like it was so gnarly. But I
could not imagine. But yeah, so he does that. The guy, you know, Clint Howard's character like kicks him away in pain. Yeah, and then he puts the pieces together, and he's like, "You're Feinbone or Feinberg or
Fishbane,
Fishbane. Yeah, you're that crazy dentist."
Yeah, and he's like, his response is just, "Sir, sit back down." yeah. But
eventually he doesn't sit back down, and he's like, he takes his mask off. He's like, "Well, would this Dr. Finestone let you go?" He like kind of like acts like he's gonna let him go, but that obviously doesn't happen, because right as he goes to like walk past him, he puts him into a chokehold, and then very brutally kills him, like with that, like you were saying, that how long the needle was, he just rams it into his fucking ear.
Yeah, dude, it was gnarly. It was just like it was a, you know, a great Clint Howard death sequence, I'd say. but yeah, it was just like, this like slow, just like push into his ear. I don't know. It was cringy.
Yeah.
But
And then Finestone says to himself, "You just couldn't have your toothache someplace else, could ya?" And then just buries him in the backyard.
That was the other thing, dude. Like, so how easily it happened with the first doctor, with the first dentist kill, I think, was he was like, well, I could handle this or something, and talking about the body, and then after that, every death or like thing that he deals with is like, it's just like a cut to him like burying somebody casually underneath his flowers or something. But
then we get one of the best dialogue scenes of the whole movie, where he's taking a shower, and it's so hilarious because he's in the shower and he's like, deranged, psychotic, nutso, nutcase, nutball, loco, loony, ape shit, wacko. He's talking about how like he didn't want to do it, he didn't want to, and he tried not to, and then he's like, I'm in control, I'm not crazy, I'm not insane, I'm not a monster.
I'm not a monster.
That part's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's like a fucking great freak.
One of his
legendary great scenes, if you ask me. Oh man. But then it kind of cuts to you sort of pick back up with Brooke, and you find that the private eye is headed to paradise.
Yes.
Or gets to paradise or whatever.
And sure enough, right as he says that, it shows him like pulling in to town.
And so this is when, you know, as like watching the movie, you're sort of like, okay, so some of this stuff is going to start unraveling, I bet. And you see, but before anything like that, you see, this is when you get reintroduced to the character that that Kane almost backed into earlier in the movie, Robbie. And Robbie actually seems to have a thing with Jamie, who Kane's trying to have a thing with, clearly, at this point. And
because they're just like in the middle of town, they're just walking, like, you know, I think she was with Bev or something like that, and then Robbie bumps into him, and Kane drives by, happens to drive by and see it,
and sees like Robbie all over her, giving her like a little flower or whatever, and
he even goes as far as kissing her.
And Kane's like, no, not again.
It's hilarious.
Because that's the thing, like at the beginning of the movie, they clearly established that the thing that pushed him over the edge was his wife's infidelity.
For sure.
Not again. And then he comes to, like, the private eye, supposedly at the, you know, probably the Paradise Cafe.
Exactly, it is. And he's like trying to get information, and he pays a waitress, and it has this backstory that like it was his old army buddy, and then the waitress like slinks off to Beverly, who just happens to be there, and tells her all about it, and is like, hey, you know, this guy was asking about
the real, who Doc Kane
about
is.
Kane, but he's gone by this point.
And that's when you kind of cut to Kane back at his office, you know, working on somebody's mouth. Jamie's there, but what you know, and then this is I think when he starts, like, he's like talking to Jamie, and he starts like accusing her of stuff with Robbie, like, why didn't you tell me about this Robbie?
Like who's Robbie?
And this poor lady sitting in the chair while he's doing this, it just has this like more and more concerned look on her face as he just brings out this drill and is like drilling around in her mouth. And, like, and then oh my god, dude, you see like some of those classic shots of like the fake teeth being drilled down, and it's like chipping a little bit and stuff, and you're just like, oh, it's just so cringy.
Right, because we learn here that she explains that Robbie's an old friend, and that the proposal thing was a joke that he does all the time. And then we get the next scene is great, where at first you think that what you're seeing is real, and then it obviously turns out to be another one of his like hallucinations. But we see this scene where Finestone sneaks up on Jamie's house, and he's spying through her window, and she gets naked, and Robbie walks in, and they start fucking.
They're getting down, dude.
Yeah, they're getting down. And Finestone like walks in the house with the razor blade. Sorry, excuse me. And goes to like sneak into the room, and then it's like all a hallucination. There's like,
yeah,
they're not really there, and then he has to like sneak out of her house before she hears him.
It was wild, dude. Like I straight up did not, like I didn't think it was a hallucination sequence.
No, I thought, yeah, you think it's real. Like you think that she just told him, you know, oh, it's nothing, and then here they come to find out. And because I thought the first time I ever saw it, I was like, oh, he's going to come in and kill her, and he's going to go psychotic. But that's not what happens.
No. And then, yeah, just like the fact that like he snaps back into reality, and it's like, oh my God, like, yeah, like where am I? Oh, I gotta get out of here, actually. Like, yeah, it was like, again, in this weird way, not that I'm trying to sympathize with him too much. You know, this is like a dude who's having like psychotic episodes, like in brain snap, like his like brain is just not fucking functioning, right? Like,
right.
Granted, he shouldn't be taking it out on other people, but but then it cuts to the next morning, or the next day at least, and this is when you have like a really like the first interaction between Kane and Robbie, because Robbie is like a drywaller working on the dude's, you know, upstairs room, whatever, or you know, main part of the house. And Kane comes up and he's like, oh, like, I have a patient down here. Do you mind keeping it down and shit?
But Kane does do one nice thing here. He does apologize. You know, he's like, I'm the asshole that cut you off the other day. I'm sorry. But then he instantly goes into asking like questions about Jamie, you know, and then he has this great scene where he asks all these questions, and then he like shoots. He by accident shoots off a nail gun that like barely misses Robbie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was like right in front of his face, man.
It's like, yeah.
Just like, what the heck? And then it kind of cuts to like Beverly, you know, doing some like, she's like clearly doing some research, trying to figure out what's going on, and she finds out that like the dude doesn't have like that Larry Kane doesn't have like a credit score or anything.
Yeah, he doesn't exist, as she puts it.
Yeah. And she brings it up to what's his face? Wilkes.
Yeah.
And Wilkes of course, like, he doesn't give a shit. He's just trying to like, he just tries to sweep it under the rug, if anything.
Of course, he's just instantly like, he's not having any of it. You know what I mean?
He's an asset to our town.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where like, you know, she gets really like, she's sold on it. She's like, she even thinks like, you know, she doesn't know that he's like the killer dentist or anything. But
right.
You know, she's like, maybe he's one of those Medicare fraud doctors.
Fraud doctors. But that's all that it goes for that far right here, because the next scene, it's like Jamie's working in the bank and she gets a call from Finestone who wants to take her out to dinner. And while he's on the phone with her, we see the private eyes there clicking off some pictures of him. And he doesn't see it, obviously.
Yeah, so then now there's like actual evidence, you know, for sure that he's there. And then, then he goes to Finestone, picking Jamie up. They're all dressed up, all, you know, fancy looking.
And we also learned that he bought her the dress because he's like, perfect only comes in one size.
And then he takes her, if I'm correct, is it just around her property, or is it around his property?
It's around the dental office.
That's right.
Yeah, it's like in the back. He sets up this like lavish, extravagant dinner.
Yeah.
You know, they're drinking champagne, they're dancing, they're having a great time, and then Finestone like sees the hand of Clint Howard like popping out of the.
Yeah, he goes
like,
to like get some flowers or something like that, and he like just the hands just like popping out of the dirt.
Yeah, he's like, I gotta fix something, and he goes and grabs her a yellow rose.
Yeah, and then like steps on the hand, like trying to like push it down or something like that.
It's just ridiculous.
The disrespect. But
then there's another great scene that happens here where they're like, now they're back at her place and they're like getting passionate, you know. They're probably about to bone when all of a sudden, out of the blue, she gets a voicemail from Robbie, and he says something, and then he mentions this line about he can't get that Thanksgiving out of his head.
He just can't seem to shake that Thanksgiving. Yeah, and this immediately throws throws a wrench in Kane's plans. He has a freak out. He's like, like, what is that? Like, what's that Thanksgiving thing?
He smashes the flowers. Yeah.
It just, I don't know. It's just like, he immediately like has this freak out. If it was me, if I was Jamie, that would be a huge turnoff.
That'd be a huge red flag. Yeah.
Yeah.
She like tries to explain herself that like my parents had just died. I was lonely and it meant nothing. And Feinstein's like, I love how when he's freaking out, he's in the kitchen cleaning her kitchen, and she's like, "Stop cleaning my kitchen!" Like, what the fuck?
That was my favorite. He's just like scrubbing the front of the stove. Yeah, the dude just can't take it. I mean, this is like, this dude's giving her shit for her lonely Thanksgiving with Robbie, but this is like an escaped fucking murderer.
Right. Like, if only she knew.
If only.
And then we get
some slack, but
then we get another quick like scene of the Private Eye explaining to Brooke that now he's under this alliance of Dr. Kane and where he's at, and it's just real quick, and she cuts a picture of him in half.
Yeah, and which is meant to be menacing, but you're sort of just like, okay.
Right.
I mean, you know that like at some point she will go after him. That's kind of like the whole build up there.
Of course.
And then I believe it kind of goes back to another. This is the sequence where I think it's like Jamie gets some roses from Kane, but I believe there's a line where it's like 11 roses to say I'm sorry. The 12th is with me waiting for you. But what were you going to say? More importantly, and Beverly kind of discovers who he is, right?
Yeah, she gets like a fax, and you don't really. I should have paused it to see what it said, but I didn't.
But yeah, I hadn't either. But you basically can just you can tell like she just has made the discovery because her face just kind of like her jaw drops a little bit and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then this is like back at the dentist office. This is the scene I was talking about earlier, where like the secretary from Twin Peaks just gets shit on, man. So she has like Kane freaks out on her because he's like, earlier in the movie you see like an old Time magazine that was like from like Watergate era Nixon, like shit. and then like in this scene he like makes a reference. He's like he sees this magazine about the Gulf War, and he's like, when that was 1991, and he's like, get these, how many times do I have to tell you to get these fucking magazines, these old magazines out? I want new ones. He starts freaking out, and then he just starts throwing them at her, dude.
It's hilarious.
But he's just like starts chucking them at her from across the room
very menacingly. He's just
dude.
Hucking these, and she's like, I think I should probably leave. Like she handled it very well
in the sweetest way possible. She was just like, I think I should go.
Which is like, I obviously like for a second you're kind of like, why is he being such a dick to her? But it makes sense because he's obviously trying to find a way to get her out of there because Beverly's on the way for this appointment. And he knows exactly what he's got to do there, basically. So, and then Beverly has this like little interaction with Wilkes. She's like, I'm going on a fact-finding mission.
Which it's just, I just don't think she should be the one to do this. But then you find out that Brooke is in town.
It's real quick,
in the Paradise Cafe. I love some of these cut scenes, like the sliding cut, to the next scene or whatever. But yeah, then you come back to the dentist's office. Beverly is there for her appointment, and Kane at first seems to be nowhere, and so she starts snooping through some files, and then he sneaks up on her like, "Hello," like.
There's actually a funny line here where, or they actually have like a nice interaction where she's like, "I wasn't snooping, I just wanted to see my file," and he's like, "I wanted to see my file since high school," or something like that.
Yeah, he doesn't come off as like intent in this scene on anything. He just
not quite yet.
But then he gets her into the dentist chair.
Yes.
And tells her to open wide, and
then she starts out with kind of some of the same comments that Clint Howard's character made about have you ever been to Hollywood or Washington D.C. or yada yada.
Yeah, and this I think immediately just triggers him into like where he need his sort of snap because as he's like trying to figure out a color for her teeth or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He starts kind of just realizing that she's asking too many questions, and then boom, puts like the laughing gas mask on her or whatever.
She passes out.
Breathe, Bev, breathe.
Yeah. So she passes out, and when she comes to, she's taped to the chair.
Yeah.
And then brutally, he just instantly pries her fucking mouth open with one of those dentistry. I don't know the name of the tool, but just pries her mouth open.
Yeah.
And he grabs a drill and it's one of those gnarly scenes where he just starts like gnashing away at her teeth, shredding them. It's brutal.
Yeah, dude, it's so fucking hard. And like, it's like there's like steam coming off of the drill.
Yeah.
Like, he's just going so fucking hard at it. She's
one
like
of those
shaking in the chair,
Could you imagine how fucking awfully fucking painful that would be? Like, I'd be excruciating pain.
Yeah. That is. I mean, he gets it down to the point, and this is the whole point of the thing. He gets it down to where it starts bleeding, and the nerve is exposed.
Yes.
And then he's
like, "We're gonna play a little game."
Yeah, it's a fucked up game where basically he asks her a question, and if he thinks that she's lying, he takes his hook tool and just starts gnashing at that open nerve in her mouth. So
it's an extreme like truth or lie detector.
Yeah, dude, it's so fucked, and it's just bloody in there, and it's nasty, and oh man.
Because he asked her a couple of questions like
who she knows,
what she knows about him, and who has she talked to, and all this. Like, have you talked to Jamie and all this?
Yeah, and also, side note, I want to point out that Beverly is wearing some really awesome orange jellies. I don't know if anybody remembers what jellies.
I didn't notice that. Yeah.
So kudos to her, although her mouth is getting torn up in this scene. So, but
yeah, before he can like really finish this, we see Robbie pull up, and then he rings the doorbell, and Kane has this great line where he tapes her mouth shut, and he's like, he threatens her. He's like, "If you make any noises, I'll come back and I'll cut your vocal cord with this."
Yeah, he holds up some like pincers or whatever. It's just so enter Robbie, and you think maybe there's gonna be like a hero rescue moment or something.
Because at first he just greets him, and he's like, "Oh, I gotta go finish," but then you hear, of course, Bev starts screaming, and like you said, he runs in like a fucking hero.
He goes, he's like, "Bev's here," or whatever, and he goes, "Yeah." Kane's like, "Yeah, we're bonding."
Oh, and then like she screams, and he makes a good line about, she can't handle her Novocaine or something like that.
And that's Robbie, like you said, rushes in, discovers it, and then him and Kane have this like struggle, all while Bev's like trying to get out of the chair.
Yeah,
really tense. You just see
it is
kind of swinging at each other and whatnot, and then like all of a sudden Robbie appears at the door. He stumbles and then.
Very briefly, you think that maybe he's won the altercation, but then very quickly you learn that he didn't. There's like you said. What were you gonna say?
Oh yeah, well it's like exactly. You think he's won, and then all of a sudden some blood starts dribbling down his mouth, and you find out that he's basically just taking a fucking hammer to the back.
Yeah, and then as if that wasn't bad enough, Finestone comes in and just bashes his fucking head in with the hammer.
Yeah, just finishes a fucking dig, and then and that's. This entire time you're hoping that Bev maybe escapes a little bit or gets out of the chair at least.
Right.
But no go. Sorry, Bev. Sorry.
It only gets worse for her.
Yeah, dude. So Finestone just retapes her down and then starts playing a game he calls Truth or Tooth.
Yeah, it's fucking amazing. Can't make this shit up. That's exactly what it is.
Dude, and so he basically he asks her a question, and if he thinks she's lying, he yanks a fucking tooth out, and he does one and gets it all out. It's gnarly. As somebody who's just had tooth extracted, I'm glad I was under for it.
Most definitely,
because that was fucking gnarly. And then he goes for another one. And he breaks it, and while he's pulling it out, and he freaks out about it.
It's the discolored one.
It's like, you made me break it or whatever. It's just like,
and then he makes a line where he's like, "Well, it's not a problem anymore."
Oh my god, dude. Yeah,
but this enrages him.
Yeah, like that scene with the cap earlier. You know, just like he's like freak, like he's just angry. Like, oh,
and this is where he grabs the drill again and just starts blasting away at her teeth again. It's like super gruesome.
Oh, dude, like I mean, we're just talking about like shots of him just like with the drill, just blowing her teeth apart. Like,
yeah, but but we don't really learn the extent of what happens here because he says this line of like, it shows him like going towards her and he's like, "We'll cut it out," and then it pans away to Jamie and she's
well, that's because and he's talking about the shot, like his drill, because he gets his drill stuck in her fucking mouth.
That's right. Oh god damn. Yeah.
And then he's like, "Yeah, we'll cut it out." and that's right. That's when it cuts to Jamie.
Yeah, she's like getting dressed and ready in the mirror to go to Finestone. And I think it was cool how they did this cut where she's looking into the mirror and then it cuts back to Finestone and he's looking in the mirror too.
Yeah, but he's doing something a little different.
Yeah, he has like a full psychotic break here where he's just like maniacally laughing, covering his face in blood. It's pretty... Yeah, it's bizarre.
Like he's like rubbing his face with his bloody gloves, and then he just starts covering, like you said, like literally coating his entire face with the blood. And then when he hears somebody come in,
you hear Brooks laugh. You hear like an overplay of like Brooks laughing, and you're not sure if it's
a hallucination or not.
Right.
Yeah, it's such a wild sequence, this one, because it's just the dude's freakouts are fucking epic.
They are. But then he cleans his face off and he starts walking downstairs, and we see Brooke is at the bottom of the steps. And as he's walking towards her, we get another one of those like Jamie. This time he's getting a voicemail from Jamie saying she's leaving her house and she's sorry, and that she's almost due with the office coming for the 12th rose.
Yeah. And so you're like, okay, so this is, you know, it's like it's all culminating here basically. And so
of course,
you know, it's this weird sequence though, because he gets really close to Brooke and he's just like, you know, she's just like, I don't know, she's playing him really fucking well.
Of course, yeah.
You know, she's basically just like trying to like, you know, she could probably see that he's like acting crazy. So yeah, she's like seducing him. She brings him, kind of lures him into like the dental chair,
straddles him,
and then like in this really creepy way, like has her like gnarly half tongue out, like and like she like goes to like fucking make out with him with her
it's
tongue,
weird.
and it's like it's just strange. It's like, you know, Finestone's clearly into it though,
right?
And then as he's like, as Finestone's like sucking on her finger, because she's like, you know, I don't know, it's a classic thing. She's like putting her finger in his mouth. She has this like, she pulls out those scissors from her.
Yeah.
And she has this look on her face because she's like got it. His like tongue. It's so weird, dude. It's like his tongue. She's like holding her finger outside of his mouth, and he's like trying to like flick his tongue onto her finger. And she's like tries to snip it off, and he kicks her off. No, he doesn't kick her off yet. He tries to snip it off, and he catches it, and then there's like, you know, classic struggle ensues.
Right. And this is where Jamie comes in, and you know, she's not quite sure what's going on yet, but she notices that he's in distress, so she like takes the lamp and smashes fucking Brooke in the head with it, like incapacitating her for the second. But then really quickly after that, she kind of learns that you know, Finestone's the one. She finds the bloody hammer. And then in this really cool scene, she finds the bodies of Robbie and Bev, and Bev's face
is
the makeup's amazing. It just, she's so grotesquely disfigured, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it is the best like makeup job in the movie for sure.
Yeah, bar none.
It is like gnarly looking.
It's hard to explain because she just has this kind of like, if you've ever seen American Horror Story Freak Show with Twisty the Clown. It kind of looks a little bit like that, like where it's just, it's gnarly.
That's a really good call. Yeah, that's probably the best thing I could equate to it, just off the cuff. And so, you know, then she tries to call the police, and she realizes that like the phone doesn't work, and Finestone confronts her. Yeah,
he has the other phone, you know, and he like throws it to the ground.
Yeah, and then like kind of like she's like trying to crawl away from him up the stairs or whatever, and he's like crawling on her, and I believe she like knocks him away at one point, you know, kind of gets away for a second.
It's great when that scene happens because she kicks him in the face, and he spits out the cap, and he's like, "Damn cap just won't stay in." But yeah, she goes upstairs. Yeah,
and then, you know, this is like, she like, you know, kind of, I'd say like classic horror scene sort of, where it's like, you know, she's like locked in the bathroom or something, and thinks like, you know, for the time being that she's you know, found a way to block him, but then he pops out from behind her and like through a window or whatever.
It's great. They do build some good tension here, because he does that at first and it doesn't work, and then there's a really cool scene where he goes back to the front to the door, and he like, obviously there's all these like construction tools, so he grabs a saw, and starts like cutting away at the saw, and part of it falls away. Then I like how he just busts. Like I thought they were gonna do like a Shining like kind of like nod where he puts his head in and says something like, "The dentist is here" or something like that. Yeah. But no, he just like full brute force busts through the fucking door and knocks her out.
Yeah, it's like at first, I think, what was it? He's like he cuts out the first square, and he says, they're talking about like, he's like, "We're corned beef and cabbage." Oh yeah.
He has this weird. He says all these different things, and one of them is, "We're Marge and Homer." Yeah. I forgot about that.
Oh my god, dude. And so anyway, he busts in and he basically like knocks her out and takes Jamie away. And this is, you know, the next sequence is like sort of like at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Like all white, really sterile looking.
It's perfect. Room. Yeah.
And so you think like, okay, man, maybe he's been building this room on the side or something.
Of course.
But he's like strapped Jamie in.
He actually, at one point, he refers to it as the dental environment of the future.
the patient-friendly era of dentistry.
Yeah,
has begun, man. And so yeah, he's like, look at all this, behold, and all this shit. And then it kind of cuts to like what's actually happening.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And it's just basically like her strapped to like a chair, and there's like, you know, part of like the house that's being constructed.
Yes, it's awesome.
Yeah. And then so he's just like full on. He's full on snapped at this point.
Yeah, you know? Because he at one point he picks up a like an actual power drill and thinks it's a dentist drill. Like, yeah, he's snapped.
Yeah, and he gets so close to her fucking mouth of that drill.
Yeah, dude. He does.
Like, and then like at last minute, I guess maybe she's not strapped down because she kicks him like off and like grabs like a hunk of wood and is like, "Get the fuck away from me!" You know?
Right, and then this part's hilarious because Brooke shows back up, and Jamie goes to swing the piece of wood, and he just pulls Brooke in the way, and that's like her demise. Like,
yeah, dude.
This is what I gotta say. So they brought her back, like. They could have thought of a better way to dispatch her. Like, they brought her back and did all this with Brooke, only for her just to like randomly die getting hit from a piece of wood by Jamie. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was such a weird, and like I feel like they should have at least like had her be the final like kill, or like had her kill him, like at least
totally
something, dude. But you're right, dude. She gets
it was so anticlimactic,
Jamie, and then she's out. She's
she's dead. Yeah,
yeah, and that's when you know, I believe like is it like the police are actually showing up at this point at the house?
Well, you don't know who it is. You don't know who it is. You just see a couple cars pull up outside. You're not sure what's going on.
Yeah, but it's like multiple vehicles, and then it's like Jamie's hiding from him, and he has this another freak out moment where like he thinks he knows where she is.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, come out, I know where you are. And like he goes up and he like starts like to this door, and he starts like whacking on the door, and I can't remember if he like hits his head on the door too or not, but
yeah, I'm pretty sure he does. Yeah,
it's just like another classic dentist freak out moment. But he is right, he does know where she's hiding, because behind the door is Jamie with the fucking nail gun from earlier.
Yes.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, and he has a great line here where he's like, "Killing is liberating. You just might like it," or something.
Yeah. He's like almost like egging her on just to fucking do it. You know?
He probably thinks that she's bluffing, but she's not.
No. And she fucking rails him, dude. Like, she shoots him like how many times with the nail gun?
Yeah, because you don't see it yet. You don't know the extent of the damage, but yeah, she just like is just rifling off shot after shot with this nail gun.
Yeah,
and then I didn't expect them to go where they went with this next scene. It was pretty cool what they did actually.
It's like, yeah, it was. How do I say it? I didn't expect it. So it's like the slow shot of, legs walking down the stairs, and then you find that it's Finestone, but he's walking through this room in his house, in the dentistry office, and it's like all these people from town, supposedly, like holding signs up, like being like
surprise,
like giving, like throwing him like a surprise, and like
welcome to town party or something.
He's like all bloody, and he just walks through them and just walks straight
like all
out
stoically,
the door. And it's like this really slow sequence.
Yeah, where you would think and then we learned like a couple shots later what his face looks like, but you would think that they would have wouldn't have just let him walk through. You know what I mean? Because they all stand there like in shock and awe and let him walk through.
Yeah. And so then the secretary goes up and discovers that Jamie's still upstairs and she's alive.
Right.
And then the cut and the ending here was just the cherry on top of this fucking movie. It was so good and so unexpected from me.
Yeah.
The cut and where's Finestone at this point?
He's just driving down the road. And he has like it's hilarious
dozen fucking nails in his face.
He looks like a discount Pinhead.
Dude, and he's just having a fucking ball. He's just laughing it up. He's
full psychotic break.
He pulls one of the nails out and he's like, ooh, and he's just and then he starts playing with his like broken tooth that doesn't have the cap on it.
It's hilarious.
It was just, and he's just, but like, it's like when he's playing with it, he's like teasing himself almost. He's like, ooh, stop it. No.
And then it just ends. You're just like,
and that's the ending.
I thought it was a great way. Yeah, I thought it was a great way to end because you're like, what the fuck?
Exactly. For as what the fuck is these two movies were, like what a fantastic way to bring like, and I didn't want that character to die. You know what I mean? And so just like that crazy of an ending where he's just like, all right, now he's just driving off to go like probably somewhere else to a small town with a bunch of fucking nails in his face. And he's just like, he's living it up. Like he's living La Vida Loca now.
For real.
It was crazy. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was a good way to end it. It was, it bucked expectation because I don't know. There's like so many ways, like cliche ways they could have ended it, but I like the way they did it.
Totally. And so I would definitely say, like, if you've listened to this podcast long enough, make sure you watch. If you've watched the first movie, make sure you watch this movie. Yeah. You know what I mean? Follow it up because The Dentist 2 is really like, The Dentist was fucking fantastic, but The Dentist 2 really hit like a homer for me, man. I fucking loved it. It cracked me up. It was fucking cringe. It was gnarly. Like I loved that they brought that character back to life. Like
totally.
Ooh, it was good.
I will say this though, having said that, I'm glad that they didn't do a third one because I just feel like, where do you go from there? And they probably would have. It would probably just would have been one of those really shitty, unnecessary sequel. You know what I mean? Totally, so I'm glad that they just kept it. I'm glad they kept it at 2.
Me too. I don't think there's ever a need for another one. You know what I mean? It's just
unless they like reboot it, which I hope that'll probably never happen.
Yeah, it'd be hard to find somebody that can play that character as well as that.
Damn right, Corbin Burnson.
Corbin Burnson. Yeah.
Yeah.
But oh man, yeah, juicy.
Classic.
All right, hot dogs. Well, we'll end number 20 here with that perfect sequel. And we'll see you for 21 some other time. But in the meantime, make sure you keep listening. Follow us on the fucking social and all that shit. Old Heart Radio.
We do have, I just want to say real quick, we do have a couple things cooked up for the Halloween month. Just not going to give away too much, but yeah, we have some things cooked up for Halloween month. So hope you guys are enjoying your Halloween month so far.
Yeah, we're going to be dropping a couple extra episodes of some stuff just Whack Arnold's Brothers stuff throughout this month. So hopefully we can get some juicy bits out there for you folks.
Definitely.
Yeah, man. But yeah, seriously though, hope everybody's October is going all right. It's the best month of the year.
I agree.
Just saying it now. But all right, we'll see you for 21, which will be a fun episode as well.
Yes, it will.
All right.
It'll be a little different, but it'll be fun.
All right. Well, good day.